I'm showing you how to bead on brain tanned leather, which is just the best thing to bead on because it's so easy to bead through. The needle will just go right through it. It also, leather and felt are two things that are easy to bead on because the edges don't ravel. Any other, most cloth, of course, when you cut it is going to fray. You can use fray check, you can bind the edges, but leather or felt is good. Another thing that people around here use, a lot of Indian people, when they are making outfits, really like to cut up crib liners, which is a rubbery material that has flocking, like flannelized kind of flocking on both sides. And they love to bead on that because it is thick enough to really hold your stitches well, and it does not fray. So people really, really like that. And the crib liner, you just have to go buy actual crib liners. Like in some places you can find it by the yard. A lot of people do use graph paper. We supply a one size here at the store. I think it's size 11 because that's the most popular size of bead. You can certainly just allow and extrapolate for the size difference in your beads by using the one size of paper. A lot of different bead books and pattern books will have graph paper in the back, and you can just photocopy that and certainly use that as well. It's not that it's for lazy stitch, lane or lazy stitch, loom bead work, and they make peyote graph paper too, where the beads are offset. The applique, no, because the applique is way more free form, and you just have to work on either put the pattern on paper or draw some guidelines. I would draw as little as you could on your just to make things look nice, as little as possible on what you're beading on. This is a way for a person to have a pattern. It's a real traditional way. I just copied this. This was from an exhibit catalog, and this is a flap for a belt bag. And with the miracle of photocopying, I enlarged it and figured out the percentage that I needed to fit to make this work. And then I just basted that photocopy onto this leather and sewed right through the paper. And because it is a picture of a beaded bag, it's like bead by number, it's just, but you can do this with anything. You can draw your own pattern, you can put a photograph on and bead over that. You can just do anything with this, and it's a very old technique. It's real traditional. It's really a way also that people use to kind of, if your background leather is thin, it's a way people use to kind of stiffen it a little bit, because when the paper that you bead over is there, and then when you're going to do the background, then all you do is all those little stitches you took make this almost serrated. So you can just pull that off and then bead the rest of it. Basically the color is, the pattern, the paper pattern is used for detail. And it's a very old and traditional way. I ignored it for years and just didn't, and I wish I would have thought of it a long time ago. You don't have to draw then. You should never draw with pencil or ink pen on your paper. A lot of people, I know, they're in the habit of drawing lines to make lazy stitch or lane stitch. If you feel like work on what I encourage people to do is work on their technique and not do that, because those lines made with a pencil or a pen are just not ever able to come out. If you're going to do that, if that's your habit, it's better to use a colored pencil, like a yellow or gold colored pencil that's kind of the color of the leather or the background. And the Schwann brand is kind of heavily pigmented, and you can just brush it off kind of when you're done, and it kind of disappears a little bit. Another product that you can use is the disappearing ink that people have for quilting. And that is also good because you put it on and then it vanishes, allegedly. Sometimes it doesn't, depending on what you put it on.